Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop! Ian, help! Alexa, stop! Yay, good morning, good morning, good morning. There we are live. We are live on social media and we're live everywhere. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have got lots of noise going on behind me and it's incredibly distracting. So I am going to just wait until that noise dissipates. Could you just close this door, please? There's quite a lot of noise and I'm live. Would you be able to close the office door, please? Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Well, that's what you do when you do things live, isn't it? You just shouldn't. We are live on social media and you are in MJ's house. Please let's share the space. Good morning, good morning. We're also live not only on Clubhouse, we are live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn. We are live on, let's just check, we are live on Instagram. I think we are. Let's see. I think we are. Let's check. Oh, maybe we weren't. Now we are. And we're live on Instagram. We're on X and we're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. That's what X is. And we're also in Wales. So good morning, gentlemen. Please do share this space out. Let's get this party started. And the troops are starting to arrive. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Jew. You all right?
Yeah.
Marvellous. That's what I like to hear. Well, we are going to be doing all sorts today. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to turn my Rodecaster Pro on. So here I am, live on social media, just, wandering about. As if I'm not live. I mean, who wants to see this? Who wants to see yeah? In my office, in my wheelchair, with my dinner ready for my work. They don't, do they? They don't want to see this. They want to see something slick and beautiful. Good morning, Marie. Good morning, Dylan. It's great to see everybody. We've got a couple of minutes. I should really do some playing of some music, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure how to do that yet. I've got a Rodecaster Pro and I've got my microphone set up. I've got my headset set up. I can go live. I can record myself. I'm now live on social media using StreamYard, but I've not quite got everything together, all my ducks in a row. It's a work in progress. I am still putting in the work. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Christian. How are you? He can't say anything yet. Good morning. How wonderful to see you here. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going to have to go back to my headset. I can no longer hear. It's strange. Let me do that now. Hello, you there? Can you hear me? Ah, I don't think we could hear you, Christian. Yeah, my sound or Christian's? Is it mine? Is mine really bad? Can you hear me now? Is that any better? Is that any better? Any better? Any better? Is that any better? Okay, no worries. Well, it was worth trying. We will just turn it off. Just bear with me. Let me just turn this off. We can always. That's better. There we are. There we are. Is that better?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, Karen.
Marvellous. There we are. It's not easy, is it? But do you know what? I'm learning a new craft, and that's okay. It's all right not to be very good at it yet, actually, because I'm better than I was, which is a good thing because I was pretty rubbish. Just bear with me, James. We are there. So we are getting started and we're going to start at 5 past. I'm going to hit record. And the reason I am is because I'm doing this practicing. I'm probably going to talk for about 25 minutes and then I'm going to open it up to absolutely everybody else. I am just going to see if I have to do this. Let me see. See if this works. I'm not sure. We're going to give it a go. And apparently, that would seem that I am now live on Facebook on one camera, live on Facebook on another, and live on Clubhouse. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Perfectly, absolutely perfect.
Absolutely amazing. Well, we appear to be making magic happen, although I've just got a poor connection thing. So we're at 5 past. That's a good timing. I'm going to press go. And then we go. Here we go. Thank you, guys. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I have just started again. And to be honest, every year I start again, right? Because every year there's a new me, or there's a new you, and it's a new financial year. To be honest, I'm not very keen on this time of the year. Everybody seems to be just a bit discombobulated. And over the last 2 weeks, we've had a fairly massive cosmic happening in that we've had an equinox, I think they call it. And I think you'll have found in the last 3 weeks that maybe you've had some unusual things happening. Things have taken an unusual turn, or maybe things haven't turned out quite as you expected. That's the whole process of this time of year and at this time in our calendar. And the calendar is really important when we think about a new financial year, because it starts in April. And something that I've been considering in the last week as I've thought about this, because I've had to on account of the fact that I have a business and therefore I am behoven to the HMRC and to the VAT man now. I have to say that I am a VAT man person. I don't know why I call him a VAT man. I'm sure it's a VAT people. I am a VAT person. I have to give a VAT. Actually, before I receive it, I have to give that over. It's an interesting thing when I think about a new financial year and I think about my own financial auditing and I think about what I think about money. We're raising money, as you can see from the link that's just been shared at the top of this room. And if you are watching this later, there is always a link to the GoFundMe. It's the Entrepreneurs Club, and this club is just got started. It feels like it's been here a while. It's almost like it's a naturally occurring part of life now, like when a tree grows. The Entrepreneurs Club's a necessity. We need it because, unfortunately, although we have to adhere to the financial rules of HMRC, they don't have to adhere to the financial rules of life. Because when a disabled person begins a business, the government, access to work, you wouldn't think that they would be so preclusive, but access to work, the government fund to access work for disabled people, those people that they really feel should do that now, they are required to create a minimum income guarantee, nearly £7,000 in the first year. Otherwise, access to work won't be continued. Now, the problem with that is that most people that start a business in the UK, well, they don't make money often in the first year. They probably don't even bring money in the first year. They're usually busy trying to learn these processes that you've just seen this morning, like how to use the tech, even to get the tech. How do they get the tech? And when they've got the tech, there's a little bit of time until it all gets settled, right? As you've seen this morning, I'm not as good as I could be. And I'm certainly better than I was. But we're all a work in progress. And we absolutely have to have some time to do that. And it takes longer if you're disabled. It just does. It takes me longer. I have to get up at 4 a.m. in order that I'm ready for work and can leave at 7. I have injections to do. I have medication. I have processes that have to happen. And everything I do takes longer because I'm in a wheelchair. So that's what I was thinking about, the financial situation this morning as I thought through what is the finances and why we're here. And we're here because we're going to raise the money to create the first disabled entrepreneur. They are going to be there in July. We're going to award that at Disability Expo. And when we do, we're going to be showing the government that what they have as a rule is ridiculous. And I'm actually going to be speaking to Robert, the MP that helped us get to here now. We're going to be speaking to him about transport and about access to work and about their behaviour and about who we talk to about that behaviour, because we can't actually continue in the way that we are continuing. We have situations that really need addressing much further up the chain than is possible, because this is a national policy and changes that are needed here. So we need to be talking to those that are writing the policy, or they don't understand what's happening. And then, hopefully, we won't need an entrepreneurs club, but we will invite one. And when we've created 100 disabled entrepreneurs, well, then we'll have an army, and that army will create sustainable businesses by disabled people for everybody, because inclusion is by design. And when we get that at the heart of things, well, then we know what inclusion is. So good morning. I just want to say that as we step into this financial year, let's just look at ourselves, shall we? I'm on a social work degree, and self-reflection is the whole game. It's not easy. Many people on a social work degree get divorced. They often suffer crises of confidence, of identity, but it's a process of reflection and renewal, like this time, like August, like April. I wonder if August is. Well, it is. You see, we've got these 4 quarters, haven't we? With a week in between. They'd like us to be in a 12-step. I mean, a 12-week program, wouldn't they? Every quarter for 12 weeks with a little rest in between, which I've had somebody back from their holiday today, and I think we decided that holidays can be more tiring than being at work because they're just so full on, right? So this is an audit time. But imagine this, if we were looking at audit and we were actually looking how we invested our time and our energy and our resources. My time didn't used to be used effectively, not as effectively as now. I had to audit my time and wonder what I actually did with it. How many hours do you spend scrolling? I honestly can stop myself at 20 seconds and say, that's enough. What are you doing it for? What's the purpose? Is it smart? Is it specific? What's it for? Is it realistic that you're doing that now, MJ? Is it the right time? Is it achievable, the thing that you're doing, if you go and do this? Are you being realistic about it now, or are you just kidding yourself and hiding in the toilet? And is it time driven? How quick are you trying to do this thing you're avoiding right now? Because this thing you're doing here, it's not going to help. A smart target, my time, my attention, what I'm doing with that time. I think that it can be hard, can't it, to think about those things, because we're not wired to look. We like to avoid it. Actually, I like to avoid it. I fill my mind with everything except the thing that actually is bothering me. I don't know about you. I think we say, oh, it distracts us, it stops us from getting upset, but I wonder about that. I wonder about that. I think we can create more meaningful relationships when we deal with the mess in the middle, when we deal with the bit that makes it uncomfortable for us, when actually we talk about the things that aren't being talked about. I had a meeting with somebody the other day and they said, do you know, I've just had a review at work and we've got all this challenge going on with me, and then I had this review about my performance and it was about a pay review and getting more money, and they never mentioned everything that's going on, and it was just weird. It was like it wasn't real. So I wonder, are your relationships meaningful? Have you nurtured reality, or have you nurtured a story that you tell yourself or that you tell other people? I've had to ask that of myself. Who and what is important to me right now? And for me, it's also, I have to look outwards. When I think about me, I think about my close family and my friends and the people that I love. It's Brough and Brenner's ecological systems theory, actually. We start with a little circle, and then it goes out with a layer like a donut, and then a bigger one, society, our environment. How do we contribute to that? It's all right saying that we all have a right to everything, and we do, but we also have a responsibility. And like Alexia on the stage, who cleans up the world, and so does everybody else that knows her now. She positively contributes to her community. She's got a top trumps card saying it, right? Positively contributes to her community. Christian is here now. Now, Christian and Jew, direct inclusion. I have a pair of directors next to me. I couldn't be more proud. James came to inclusion on Friday and delivered the greatest explanation of why he's lost 50 kilos using the coffee and the products that we promote. And Alexia came and brought her books and her books help shape the planet and the children's ideas about the planet. We're an audit. We're an audit of finances, of our lives, of our hearts, but most of all, we're an audit of our inclusion meter. And if you don't know what one is, hang on a minute. So let's look at my heart, because actually inclusion has a heart as a logo. For those that don't know, I wonder if it's on the GIF yet. I wonder if we can bring up inclusion. If we don't, we need to ask Naomi very nicely, because she's the beautiful lady. Oh, Marie's wearing it. There we are. Thank you, Marie. Beautifully in the middle of the audience there. Audit in my heart. And whether I show the compassion and empathy that I should to others. And also, do I practice kindness and understanding, or sometimes do I try and morph things my own way and use words to get that? Can I be kind in challenging situations? Or does it disappear at that point and I turn into a boot? It's hard not to be defensive when you've defended yourself all your life. And you've had to, because I'm disabled. It's hard to let down those barriers when I'm absolutely terrified that everybody's going to do exactly as they've done before. Excluded me. It's hard when imagining an us where everyone knows that we're intrinsically and inexplicably and impossibly connected. Why everybody seems to be acting like a single entity. The only way I've been able to cultivate a more compassionate heart for myself, ideally, initially, is to examine my responses and wonder where they come from. Because do you know what? I wasn't born this way. No babies are born bad. No babies are born sad. They're just born curious. So I think that when we're looking at creating an inclusion meter, I ask myself some questions. Have I actively sought out diverse perspectives, or am I actually just talking to the people that tell me the story I want to hear? Because there's another story that we get created. Did I manifest this shit? Oh, yeah. I did. And it's usually by getting people to say the same thing, or feel the same way, or find people who feel the same way. That's great. That's amazing. But if you just stay there and you don't hear other perspectives, that can be a challenge, I think. And I'm working in a local authority, and I'm having to work across hospitals and police and third sector organisations and care facilities and day centres and doctors and medical departments and universities. That's helped me create spaces where everyone feels more valued and respected. And I think that when we get together and communicate, when we share, like I am on social media right now, when we share what we know with the people that we love, then we create a more compassionate heart for us, but also then for everyone around us. So it goes beyond my actions. It's not just about what I do, but believe me, I do what I do because I know that I have to be what I say, or how can people believe that it's even possible? Because it seems unbelievable. It seems like there's no way through this mess. This government has created so many convoluted ways of excluding us from the system that actually they thought it was a puzzle that nobody could solve. Well, they're wrong. There's always one. My mum used to say as she looked at me. So let's delve into these questions honestly and curiously today. Let's think about our mindset, our way of being. On this Monday, before we go into a new week, and it's my halfway mark, so thank you for being amongst here, because I'm pooping myself. I've got a meeting at 11 o'clock with a lot of important people who have to decide whether I can now statutorily assess in the second half of my placement those kinds of things with support and go and actually fill in forms that other people do in the same way and get checked. And it's scary, and I'm scared, and I want to go on, but I don't know what it looks like. It's an unknown space, and it scares me. And I think that's what we have to say to people when we ask for inclusion. I understand that you're scared. I am too. I'm scared. I'm scared of you. I'm sorry I'm scared of you, but I am. Starting in business was really not easy. I think there's a sobering reality that 95% of individuals with a learning disability aren't employed. I think that statistic should wake us up to the idea that we've got to make some sort of inclusivity, right? Where everyone, whatever's been going on in their background or in terms of their abilities, has an opportunity to thrive. There's a gap though, and that begins with a practice. So every Monday, as part of our commitment to inclusion, we come together and we practice. We practice being together, we practice crossing divides, we practice understanding each other's disabilities, we practice screaming into the void, we practice exploring new and diverse subject matters. We practice employability skills, we practice life skills. And at 8 o'clock, we do a webinar now on a particular subject. And in a week, we're joining with another group, the MD group, muscular dystrophy, and we are collaborating together as we practice relationship building and practice inclusion. And inclusion's a practice. So tonight we take our practice online and we practice our engagement with the muscular dystrophy group next week, speaking all things employability, and that is going to be live. And then it's going to be shared, and those people are going to understand about inclusion and practice of inclusion, and also about accessibility partners. The access to work provision that plugs the gap, that allows inclusion, to provide the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club, that gives the support, that provides the opportunity to practice. This pre-match game tonight is the beginning of our employability week. And we are setting the stage for those empowering discussions, just like we're going to have today on Clubhouse. And I can't wait to speak to you. So look, it's a practice. So as we reflect, I don't know, there's lots of new ways and we're making them together, but I'm asking some questions about how we take our discussions into real tangible actions that create real change. And I think that showcasing the mess in the middle is the way. I don't think there's another way. I've got masses to discuss about employability. We've got plans all year, inclusion going off to London, Scotland in June, London in July, Cardiff in October. I think Ireland in August. What do you reckon? Maybe we need a leprechaun hunt. I don't know. What do we need? Something in Ireland. Ireland, come on, whatever we do in Ireland. I don't know what Ireland does. Maybe it should be inclusion. I wonder what Ireland's doing with their access to work programme. It's different there. It's not as much and it's very strange. Sorry, darling.
Guinness.
Guinness, there we are. Oh, there we are. I know what we'll do. We'll have a Guinness tasting event. So this quarter, I'm going to talk tonight about right through the quarters. I'm not going to do it here, but we're going to be setting goals tonight. We're going to be setting achievable goals. We're going to be creating a budget that reflects your goals. We're going to be talking about emergency funds and investing in your future, tackling debt strategically, all sorts of thoughts. How we're going to educate ourselves and how and why and how we have to keep going. Anyway. That's just a link, a little taster into later. If you are around, then 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to be live on social media again, but we're going to be in Inclusion, which is a growing club. And if you're looking for the Inclusion logo, you can see it in the middle of the room. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to be live on social media, on StreamYard and everywhere else, showcasing the pre-match game to our Employability Week. And then we will culminate this week next Monday night at 6:30 with the MD group, and we will be sharing that link tonight. So if you'd like to be involved in this week, one end to one end, Monday to Monday, it's a great business concept. We're going from Monday to Monday, Monday morning to Monday night the following week. It's like an 8-day week. And I think that's a very strategic move. And it means that 6:30 next Monday, we're going to finish on a high. We're going to be celebrating together with another group as inclusion shows what we've been doing as a finished product, just like I'm going to be doing today in my halfway placement review. So wish me luck. I am already excited about listening to you guys. I'm asking all sorts of questions this week, and I might just give you 2 or 3 of them just so you can ponder them over the week, because I'm going to be repeating them, I would imagine. I'm trying to work out how we make employability more accessible, because actually not very many employers are employable for us. They're not very, I don't like them. I need to fix them, and they don't really know how to play the game. So how do we make employability more accessible? Because I can only really help people perfectly through self-employment. If they have an employer, it's a very difficult game. But we're playing with some of the big boys in the game, and that's great. But we'd like to play with more, and we'd like there to become an inclusive agenda at the heart space. So how do we make employability more accessible and inclusive for everybody? Because most people that are disabled don't even get a chance of a job, right? That's the reality. Christian's here and he'll tell you. And then what actions can we take to support individuals with disabilities in the workplace? That's not who can we get stuff of. That's not how do we get somebody else to do it. My question is, what actions can we take? Can you take? Can I take? And I'm going to be asking that this week. What can I do at work to help everybody? And also, how can I help everybody have me at work? Because, you know, it's a learning curve. How can I help everybody have me at work? And I'm going to ask people this week at the halfway point, have I helped them have me at work? How do I help them have me at work? What is it that I do that makes it doable? Because I'm doing it, so it must be doable. And I don't really know what it is that I do that makes it doable, so I'm going to ask. I'm going to get that diverse perspective. And I'm wondering whether you need to ask yourself that, and maybe ask those around you if you're in the workplace. And if you run a business, ask me, because we can sort that out. We have a consultancy rate, and sometimes we can get that consultancy rate paid for by somebody else. So come and talk to us. Because if you'd like this conversation, it shouldn't be about needing the money. It should be about wanting to create and deliver and understand and experience and practice inclusive hiring practices everywhere. And then, in what ways can we amplify the voices of those that are screaming into the void for greater inclusion and diversity? Well, I think you could share this room. That's the first start. Because we've got 4 people on this stage who have been the product of this process. And it is all about the process, because the outcome really isn't important. Although it's beautiful when there are books, it's wonderful when there are jobs, it's incredible when there is a coffee story to be told, when there is a person that gives of themselves and is creating miracles for inclusion every day, even though they've broken their neck. So these are stories waiting to be told. These are voices that need amplifying. These are those that are advocating for the rest. These are those that will work with the 95% of disabled people that don't have a job with a learning disability. These are those. We are they. This is inclusion. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it honestly. Let's say how hard it is. Let's talk about how uncomfortable it is when we meet somebody that's got no arms and we don't know what to say. I had to look after a man called Niels when I was 19, and I didn't know he had no arms, and he came from Germany, and he came for the war celebration, and he came to go to Eden Camp, and I was thrown in by Medicare at 19 on a Friday night with a man at 6 p.m. who was getting drunk in a bar in a B&B on Albemarle Crescent in Scarborough. And Niels was very old and I was very young. And everybody there was very old and they didn't really speak English. And he had no arms and I had to look after him and I wasn't trained. And I didn't know what I could and I couldn't do. I didn't know how. And I was sleeping overnight in another room and I was there until Monday morning. And at Monday morning at 5 o'clock when I finished with Niels, with no break from Friday night, I was going to bathe somebody on Southcliffe at 7 a.m. after driving up. And this was my life because I was on my own in Scarborough, independent. At 19, I've learned the way through this mess in the middle because of the experiences I've had. But it's difficult when we meet people and they don't look like us, they don't sound like us, they don't talk like us. I'm working with somebody at the moment that's completely non-verbal, and that was just great for me because it's made me learn ways to communicate that I never thought of. And listening to that person, because there's a million ways to communicate, but there's only one way, right? And that's your way. So how can I amplify the voices of those who don't speak English with no arms when I don't know what they want, or those with no voice, as I try to get them to articulate what they want and be involved in the process of the decisions that are made about their lives, about them, without them? I want it to be with them and for them. So how do we amplify those voices? How do we make sure that everybody is getting a voice at the table? You know, otherwise the agenda changes, doesn't it? If we haven't got to think about the person with no eyes or legs or arms or ears, then we're not really creating a service or an entity or a life or a world or an opportunity for very many people. And if those that have to have legs as well, that's not really very useful. So when we're auditing ourselves, my question also is, inclusion by design might mean dismantling what you've made because it wasn't fit for purpose anyway. I'm not having a go, I'm explaining it was never okay, and so it can never be created into something that works. It just didn't work for everybody. I know it worked for some. I'm not suggesting it didn't. I've just realised I'm live on Facebook and I picked my phone up to try and help you here. Probably have just seen my mouth for an hour. I understand it's painful. It is for me. But it didn't work and it was never going to work. So as we move towards these questions this week, and I know I've gone a few minutes over, how can we make it more accessible? I'd like to hear your posts, please. Let's share, let's talk, let's get a conversation going. Let's actually talk some sense to ourselves about how we're going to change this agenda as we move into a new year. I want 2025, new financial year, a year from now. Let's be talking about smashing targets, 100 entrepreneurs, you know, £1 million, bazillions of pounds funding, and the options to make the world a better place, for want of a better phrase, when my name is MJ. So I'm going to hand it over to the greatest team I've ever seen and the greatest group of people, and that includes the audience, because all of you know who you are. Our Adam's got an Omeo, just saying. Marie's been working for goodness knows how long, with how many people doing amazing miracles in beautiful ways, and one of them's on the stage. And well, David is just my God. Both the Davids. There's no David any better than the other David. David supported me when I've gone to learn to do this talking thing, which you'd think I already knew considering how many words I use. And the other David is going to help fix the roof on my house before it falls in, because he's just a God, and I'd like him to do that if he doesn't mind. He's also going to build a few extensions for people because they need to get to work and they need to get to bed and they need to learn and they need to live and they need stairs. They need stairs. They don't need stairs. They need stair lifts and they need lifts. And I need David to get really, really, really good. And that's one of the Davids. And you know which David it is. If you're the golfing David, I'm not expecting you to build things for me yet. But I wouldn't mind a golfing match for inclusion if you don't mind. I'd like you to help me do that at some point because I haven't played golf for years and I really like playing golf in my 4x4. I'm probably really pants at it now. I've had a TIA, but hey, we can practice, can't we? Because that's all golf is. It's not about the outcome, it's all about the practice, the meditative practice, about focusing the mind. It's not really the little hole, it's about the relationship, it's about the community, it's about the togetherness, it's about fostering inclusion. So let's do that together, David. Both the Davids, all the Davids, every David. I've got a few Davids. I might have a David team, actually. A team of Davids. I think I've got 4 Davids now. That's too many Davids. And Adam, who is busy creating amazing things like we're going on a boat. That's what we're doing in July or August. I was thinking what we're doing in July or August. We're going on a boat. It's just that Adam hasn't sorted it yet. So we're going on a boat, a canal boat with inclusion that wheelchairs can get on, because then we can go on a boat and a plane and a train. I'm just gonna try them all with inclusion. That's what I'm doing. So yes, we are an amazing family. So please come up and talk. Raise your hand. Come and get on the stage because actually I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I'm going to go on. We've only got 25 minutes and 5 million people. Jew, are you there?
I am.
Are you excited? And what do you want to talk about?
I'll talk about anything.
What about getting a job?
Well, as you told me, I've got to bother my ass to do something.
I'm not sure I'd have been as straightforward as that, would I, you?
I think it would.
Do you reckon? I think they were probably the exact words I used.
All that was missing was the bitch slap.
But I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, that's handy, isn't it?
I wouldn't take it off many people.
Just saying. So you're getting a job, yeah?
Eventually.
Mm.
I
You're doing it now, love. I love you. I like the fact that you don't know you've got a job. I like the fact that I gave Christian his job description to edit and then asked him if he wanted it. You can't go employing people like without them even knowing, can you? It's not on. It's like subversive employment. I'm going to sneakily give you a job. Christian, good morning. What do you reckon about employability then?
Well, yeah. It's a job. One of the first jobs I ever snuck up on somebody.
Well, I do buy things and then sneak off without taking them. I've said that in many shops. So I just meet people and then I sneak up and employ them. Well, I think that's exactly what I do. Exactly the opposite of what everybody else suggests.
Going back to what you were saying earlier, it's all from that very point. It's all a heart shift, a mind shift, and a heart shift, and all it needs is for someone to say yes to any of us, in employment, not general really, but certainly in employment, and that's what happened to me. You said yes, and you said yes, and it's something just to see your worth and see what you're capable of, and be willing to help you out, and you know, and that's what we need. That's what we need to change, because I think it's certainly employability with disabled people. it's too difficult for them.
It
It
is.
isn't. It really isn't difficult at all because you can see everybody here on the stage. Everybody in our group. We'll work together. We'll pull together. Probably more than a lot of other normies or somebody. Call them.
Normies.
Because we yeah. Take him up, Lisa. But
That sounds a bit othery.
But I'm not trying to,
I know.
we are more loyal. We are loyal because when we're given the opportunity, and we're given we all stick together. We all I think we'd probably work out we're more productive, honestly, and so
we take less sick days. Disabled people take less sick days.
Yeah,
that's fact.
Yeah,
that's just fact.
That's fact.
It's because we're always sick, so there's no point in having a change.
That not being sick is a change,
Yeah.
or not. So I don't understand. I don't understand why they wouldn't. What I do is the reason they don't want to do it is because they're scared.
Yeah.
Because they're scared.
We all are.
They're frightened. I don't quite know what they're frightened of. They're frightened of
the unknown. The unknown, I think.
Unknown. And seeing people that they believe are different, believe are something, I don't know, something different, something to be either pitied or ignored, and this is not everybody, this is a broad bunch, it really is. There are people that are absolutely wonderful, so don't get me wrong, but then it's a heart shift. If people when people see us, we shouldn't even be using us because that's brilliant. Because that's brilliant. And us and them, I'll get it cheesy. But when they see us doing, being as we all are together, like we can all out in Cardiff, all the barriers disappear, all the ideas disappear. But if you put it down on a piece of paper, or you have a phone call, like I said before, about jobs I went for, and you explain it, and they can't see and they don't know, then it's very easy to just put down the shutters and say, no. And in their mind, that's, I don't know, they can't think they're doing the right thing, but in their mind, that's just, that sort of, we don't need the compilation. It's always basic, we don't need the paperwork, isn't it?
I think is it a bit like, for me, right? It's easy to join the gym. It's just not very easy to do it. So you could, loads of people have a gym membership. Well, lots of people say that they think everybody should be included, but actually, to go to the gym every day, it takes effort.
Exactly. Exactly that. Exactly. Yes. Do you think everybody should be included? Do you think people should say, "Oh yes. What are you going to do about it?" Oh, Tuesday. Basically, because they don't know. And it's not mean that I tell you, people genuinely don't want to do it.
But yeah, I think they just need to know how, and that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if we show the way and tell what's available, when people hear about access to work, companies and businesses hear about access to work, they can't believe it because it's good for them, it's good for the employer, it's good for the government, it's good for everybody. So yeah, anyway, I'll stop saying that.
And you do know that there's another agenda as well, Chris, and I'm just going to say it because, I know your political bent, right? And I'm just going to tackle it right here, right now. And I know I didn't, and I didn't advance warn you, and tell me if you don't want to talk about it. Be authentic. But what I'm saying is that I get a feeling, and I am, I've had this problem all through my life. When I was in further education college as a teacher, and my kids went to private school, all of my colleagues said, "What do you think you're doing? You can't be here doing that. You can't be saying all this and then doing all that. Who do you think you are?" And I said, "I'm just a parent of disabled kids trying to get through." And then now I've got this other agenda where there are disabled people who I understand are trying to protect what they've got, right? Who are going, "No, you can't do this because it's too scary. Everybody's going to lose their benefit and nobody will, and what if the worst happens? What if they do lose this, or they do lose that, or they do end up with this, or this job doesn't last?" Well, do you know what? Nothing's going to last. But I've got this feeling that there are some people in our agenda, in our midst, that feel aggrieved because I'm asking for some of us, if we choose to be able to engage in this game if we feel we ought to. But I don't want to be kind of told off for it or made to feel bad for daring to put my head above the pulpit. And that's amongst my own people. And I'm going to say that here. And I know it's fear. And I know it's because they don't want to lose everything. But I honestly am telling them it's going to be taken away. It's being taken away. It's systematically being dismantled as we speak. So all of their protection is going to save them from a system that's changing and evolving, and they need to change and evolve with it. It's like the internet coming along and then not joining on with it. Can you imagine if you were a person that had never done that? So we've got to get with the program, and that's all of us, including the disabled people and the non-disabled people. And the non-disabled people also, I feel, have got to remember that actually we can't all do it, and it is a nightmare, and it takes bloody forever, and they're just going to have to get with the program. That it's not easy to employ us yet, and that's not our fault. It's the government's fault. And if they join in, then they can tell the government how crap it is too, and then everybody will start talking, and then we're sorted. I think my taxi's here. I can't believe they're ringing me. I'm going to have to take it. I think. I won't be a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Hello, can I help? Hello, you're here at I said 7:15. Are you here already?
7:15.
Yeah, are you here already?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did book 7:15. I'll get ready and come out. I'm glad you're here. I don't want you to go away. It's incredible. Thank you. I'm going to be about 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. I won't be a minute. Bye. Bye. And there we are.
And that in the room, but I wouldn't want it to speak of it to trigger the other speaker in your studio at the moment. Because,
right. I've got to. James.
Yeah, you're there. You're speaking.
Yeah, James. I've got to go. Because the taxi's arrived half an hour early. Communication again. The left hand don't know what the right hand's doing. Bye, everybody. I'm just saying bye-bye.